Here's what most men never realize. The things you think women want are not the things that keep them up at night thinking about you. Your looks might catch her eye. Your money might buy her attention for a moment. Your car might impress her friends. But none of that makes her restless. None of that makes her crave you. What drives desire isn't physical. It isn't material. It's psychological. The man who understands this has an unfair advantage because he doesn't compete on status. He competes in her mind. And the truth is, all it takes is 2 words. 2 words that turn you from another face in the crowd into the man she can't stop replaying in her head. 2 words that flip her psychology and shift the entire dynamic in your favor. Most men will never use them. They're too afraid of silence, too afraid of tension, too afraid of power. But once you hear them, and once you know how to use them, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Section 2. The core truth of desire. Desire does not follow logic. If it did, the man who gives her everything would always win. The man who texts back instantly, showers her with gifts, and never lets her feel doubt would be the one she chases. But look around. That man rarely gets the woman he wants. Because desire is not built on certainty. Desire is born in tension. It's the unanswered question that lingers in her mind. It's the pause before the next word. It's the space you leave that forces her imagination to fill in the blanks. Here's the mistake most men make. They think attraction is about doing more. More compliments, more effort, more reassurance. But the more you explain yourself, the less she feels. Every extra word closes the mystery. Every attempt to prove yourself drains the energy. What she craves is curiosity. What pulls her in is imagination, and imagination is stronger than reality because it never stops replaying. One sharp phrase can live in her head for days. One unanswered question can keep her restless in ways no gift or gesture ever could. This is why the nice guy loses. He gives everything up front, leaving nothing for her mind to chase. The man who understands desire does the opposite. He creates tension. He creates space. He lets silence do the heavy lifting. And once you see that desire comes from tension, not reassurance, you'll stop over-explaining. You'll stop begging for approval. Instead, you'll start using words like sparks, few, sharp, and unforgettable. Section 3. Psychology of words. Words are the most underestimated tool in attraction. Most men waste them. They talk too much, hoping volume will create value. They explain, they justify, they flatter, and in doing so, they kill the very thing that could have made her desire them. Because words don't create desire when they're used to please. They create desire when they provoke, when they leave her wondering what you meant, when they spark a thought that she can't shake off. Think about it. A single ambiguous phrase will replay in her head longer than 100 compliments. One sharp line, dropped at the right moment, is more addictive than hours of flattery. That's because her imagination takes over. And the imagination is relentless. It fills silence with meaning. It stretches a small phrase into a story she can't stop telling herself. Take the example of a man who is average on paper, average looks, average income. Nothing that would stand out in a crowd, yet women pursue him. Why? Because he never wastes his words. When asked if he likes a woman, he doesn't rush to reassure her. He smirks and says one word that pulls her in deeper. That restraint creates obsession. The Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The less you speak, the heavier your words become. Scarcity creates value. And when your words are rare, they echo. So here's the shift. Stop treating conversation like a performance. Stop trying to impress her with constant chatter. Speak less. Speak sharper. Use words to create space, not fill it. Because when you stop flooding her with noise, you start planting thoughts she can't ignore. Section 4. The power of tension. Tension is the lifeblood of desire. Without it, attraction dies. With it, even an ordinary moment can feel electric. Think about the stories you can't put down. It's not because the ending is obvious, it's because you don't know what's coming next. That uncertainty keeps you hooked. Women feel the same pull in relationships. Certainty is safe, but safe does not seduce. Uncertainty, the right kind, keeps her chasing. Most men destroy tension the moment it appears. A silence falls and they rush to fill it. A question is asked, and they dump all their feelings on the table. They think reassurance creates connection. In reality, it kills curiosity. Now picture a different approach. A woman asks, "Where is this going?" Instead of handing her the full script, he smiles, pauses, and says, "We'll see." That simple phrase flips her psychology. She can't stop thinking about it. Why didn't he explain? Why isn't he in a rush? That unanswered question keeps her coming back for more. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The same truth applies to desire. Delay fuels curiosity. Mystery stretches emotion. Tension makes her lean in instead of lean away. Here's the shift. Stop fearing silence. Stop fearing uncertainty. Don't rush to ease her mind. Let her sit with the tension. Let her feel the pull. Because the man who masters tension becomes unforgettable, while the man who kills it with constant reassurance fades into the background. Section 5, the first word of a maybe. The first word that flips a woman's psychology is simple. Maybe. At first, it sounds weak, even evasive, but when used with the right frame, it becomes one of the most powerful words you can speak. Why? Because maybe creates ambiguity. It denies her the certainty she wants, while keeping the door open just enough for her imagination to run wild. And it's imagination, not certainty, that fuels desire. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Human beings remember unfinished things more than finished ones. When you say yes, the loop closes. When you say no, the loop closes. But when you say maybe, the loop stays open. She can't stop thinking about it. She replays it. She tries to solve it, and in that mental loop, her curiosity becomes desire. Take the example of a man who, on paper, had nothing special, average looks, average income. Yet women found themselves chasing him. Why? Because when a woman asked, "Do you like me?" he didn't spill compliments. He leaned back, smiled, and said one word, "Maybe." Then he changed the subject. That single word drove her restless. She admitted later she couldn't stop analyzing it, wondering what he meant, replaying his tone in her mind. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You always own the option of having no opinion." Maybe is the verbal embodiment of that truth. It shows you're not desperate to define things. You're not controlled by her need for clarity. You hold your frame, and in doing so, you force her to step into it. Here's your shift. The next time she looks for validation, don't hand it over. Don't rush to reassure her. Lean back, let a small smile form and say, "Maybe." Then stop. Let silence do the work. Because that one word tells her more than any speech ever could. You'll decide when she has earned certainty. Section 6, the second word, enough. If maybe creates curiosity, the second word creates respect. That word is enough. Most men never use it. They put up with disrespect, excuses, or games because they fear losing her. They think endless patience earns love. In reality, it kills respect. And without respect, desire cannot exist. Enough flips the power dynamic. It says, without anger, that you value yourself more than her approval. It shows her that you will walk away before you tolerate what crosses your line. That clarity is rare, and it is magnetic. Take the man who let a woman test him for months. She'd cancel plans, show up late, throw small jabs to see how he'd react. For years he laughed it off, trying to be the easygoing guy. But one night, after she mocked him in front of friends, he turned, looked her in the eye, and said one word, "Enough." Then he walked out. The next day, she chased him harder than ever. Why? Because in that moment, he proved he wasn't afraid to lose her. He valued himself more than her games. Epictetus wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The man who can say, "Enough," lives that truth. He is not enslaved to approval. He is not ruled by fear of loss. That freedom makes him powerful. Here's your shift. Practice saying it calmly, without anger. When she pushes past your boundary, don't argue, don't justify, don't explain. Just say enough, then hold your frame. That single word will do what no speech ever could. It will show her you're not a man who bends for validation. You're a man who demands respect, and in return becomes irresistible. Section 7. Using them together next? Individually, maybe sparks curiosity and enough commands respect. But when you use them together, you create a balance few men ever master. Picture this. A woman asks if you'll drop everything to meet her at the last minute. Most men rush to say yes, hoping to please. Instead, you pause and say, maybe. Instantly, the dynamic shifts. She leans in, wondering. She starts valuing your time. Now, when she presses further or pushes past your boundary, you calmly say, enough. That pairing makes you unpredictable, yet unshakable. Curious but firm. This duality is the rarest trait in men. The ability to leave space, then draw lines. The ability to keep her guessing, but never disrespecting. When you master both, you stop chasing attention and start commanding it. Modern dating debates often circle around one question. Why do women stay drawn to men who don't bend to them? The answer is simple. Those men embody contrast, mystery but also strength, flexibility but also limits. Women cannot resist that paradox. It pulls them in deeper than money or looks ever could. So here's the takeaway. Use maybe when you want to create intrigue. Use enough when you need to enforce respect. When both flow naturally from you, you stop playing games and start leading. And leadership in relationships is what women crave, even if they never admit it out loud. Master these two words, and you master tension, desire, and respect all at once. That's the leverage most men never discover. Section 8. Timing is everything. Words alone mean nothing if you use them at the wrong moment. Maybe said too often becomes a weakness. Enough shouted without restraint becomes anger. The true power lies in timing. When she reaches for certainty, that's when maybe keeps her curious. When she tests your patience, that's when enough restores balance. Used sparingly, these words strike like lightning. Rare, sudden, unforgettable. Think of the man who always says yes. He becomes predictable. She stops valuing him. Or the man who says no to everything. He becomes rigid, exhausting. The balance is found in precision, a calm maybe when she expects instant compliance, a firm enough when she crosses a line she thought you'd ignore. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that keeps people hooked on games or social media. The brain craves uncertainty, but only within limits. You create that same pull with your words. Not always yes, not always no, just enough unpredictability to keep her chasing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Timing turns your words from opinion into power, because it's not just what you say. It's when you choose to say it. Here's your edge. Don't speak these words on autopilot. Wait for the moment they carry weight, then deliver them with calm certainty. That's when she feels it. That's when she sees you differently. That's when you stop being ordinary. Section 9. The man behind the words. Words alone won't save you. Any man can say, maybe. Any man can say, enough. But without the character to back them up, they collapse. The true power comes from the man behind the words. If you use maybe but live a life with no direction, she won't see mystery, she'll see weakness. If you say enough but cave the next day, she won't see strength, she'll see bluff. Your frame matters more than the sound of your voice. A man who invests in his discipline, his mission, his self-control, carries weight in every word. He doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to argue. His presence makes maybe sound like a challenge, and enough sound like law. This is why Stoics warned about mastering the self before trying to master others. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." Translate that to today. No man is respected who is a slave to approval. She can sense it. She knows if your words are empty or if they are rooted in a man who will not break. The rarest man is not the one who knows clever tricks. It is the one who lives in alignment with his words. He creates space when he chooses. He draws the line when he must. And he never explains himself, because his actions already confirm the truth. Here's the reality. You are either the man who bends or the man who frames the world around him. Your words reveal which one you are, but it is your life, your discipline, and your consistency that make those words undeniable. You've seen it now. 2 simple words, maybe and enough, hold the power to shift any dynamic. They create curiosity, they demand respect, and they expose the difference between a man who chases and a man who leads. But the words themselves are only tools. The real strength is in how you live. A man who can control his emotions, stay calm under pressure, and walk away when respect is gone, is the man every woman feels drawn to, and every other man silently respects. This is where the brotherhood comes in. Too many men today are lost, begging for scraps of attention, confused by mixed signals, and afraid to set standards. That cycle ends with men who step up, sharpen their discipline, and live with purpose. Men who don't just repeat these truths but embody them. So here's the challenge. Don't just listen and nod, apply it. Say maybe when you'd usually chase. Say enough when you'd normally bend. Hold your frame. Watch how everything shifts around you. If you're ready to stop living as one of the many and start living as one of the few, stay with this channel. This is where we cut through the noise and sharpen men into leaders. The words are simple, the path is not. But if you choose it, you'll never look at yourself or women the same way again.